Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of RotoX Fantasy. My name is Donnie, and this episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm sure most of you guys probably follow me on Twitter. You've already seen, but I lost my mom this week, so it's been a whirlwind of obviously emotion, but just scheduling conflicts. So this one's going to be low editing, no graphics, anything like that. I just want to make sure I get something out for you guys as quick as I can. Let's go ahead and recap the round at WW Ranch. Last week we had 4,864 teams sign up. Of those, 3,326 were championship teams, which is down just a tick, about 150 teams total from the week before. The perfect score on the weekend would have netted you 652, which is actually the highest of the season by a single point over Loretta Lynn's 2. If you would have nailed both FFLs, that would have been 682, very, very close to that elusive 700. The most popular team would have netted 504, meaning that if you just went with the guys that everybody was going with, 504 there. My team ended up at 536. 428 was the championship league median, which means that if you scored 429 or more, you did better than half of the people in the field. The top RotoX league on the week went to Softball Dad with 640, and the best week for the entire championship league was Mallrats 2C with a whopping 664, which is including FFLs. Obviously, he had to have gotten at least an FFL. He did better than what the perfect score would have been without FFLs. On the season, DM912 moves into the lead of the RotoX league with 3,284 points, and F-150 Motocrosser leads the championship league with 3,361. 7 of the 16 All-Stars netted a perfect 50 for 44%, and double points, another 44% performance. 28 out of 64 double points riders eligible scored that 44 or more. For those big zeros, we had a pretty nice week. We only had 18.1% worth of pick trend on zero scores, led by Grant Harlan 6, and he did not even line up. Make sure to check those cheat sheets before you go and qualifying results if you don't have access to the cheat sheets. If you want access to them, follow us on Twitter or Instagram. It is just RotoX Fantasy. The FFLs were totally easy this week with AC and Shane McElrath and Dylan Ferrandis. Obviously, Shane and Dylan, with Ty Masterpool being out, Shane and Dylan were 1-2 in the 250 class. AC is the clear number 1 in the 450 class. Moving forward, I would assume you are going to pick AC for the last 2 rounds of the season, and you're either going to pick Shane, Dylan, or Ty Masterpool if he happens to race. We'll get into that later, though. Let's go ahead and dive into the preview for round 8. This has no script, so I'm going to be kind of winging it here. I'm just trying to get it done as fast as possible for you guys. Let's start with your 250 All-Star. If you can pick Jet Lawrence, you pick Jet Lawrence, but he had a high 33% pick trend last week, so I'm going to go ahead and secondary recommend to you Alex Martin. A lot of people might want to go Justin Cooper because he has definitely looked frisky the last 3 motos, but just looking at pure numbers, Amart is a safer pick. 64% of his moto finishes this year have been within that top 6, while Cooper only has 50%. I think that Cooper has a lower floor. I think Amart is going to be top 10 practically no matter what happens. We've seen him fall down and struggle to pick his bike up and still manage to finish in the top 10. So give me Amart as your 250 All-Star. Moving on to your 250 non-All-Star, I actually have a do not pick this week instead of a pick. There are so many good picks in the 250 class, especially with these rookies coming in. I'm not going to recommend a 250 pick. I'm going to, because I feel like those are going to be easier. But somebody I definitely want you to stay away from is Jarrett Fry. Jarrett's handicap is down to a 4, and even with a 4, he still would have a 100% double point moto score this year, even at a 4. All 4 of his motos were within, but he has very, very, very little ceiling there, meaning that, yeah, he has 12th place. If he goes 12-12 again like he did last week with a 4, that only gives him 2 8th place finishes, which is only 52 points, and I need more than 52 points out of a guy. I don't see him finishing much higher than that, especially with guys like Nate Thrasher coming in, some of the other rookies coming in maybe to place Boyle, and last week he obviously had a little bit of good luck with Hunter Lawrence falling out of the top. RJ Hampshire had a DNF. Like, there were a lot of top guys that allowed him to get up to that 12th place point. So I would say stay away from Jarrett Fry this weekend and thank me later. Moving on to your 450 class for All-Stars, the only option for me is Chase Sexton here. 64% again of his motos this year have been inside that top 6. Even when he goes down, he went, what, I believe it was 7-8 or 10-6. I can't remember which red bud it was that he went down twice there. But as long as the conditions look good, he should finish within a margin of error of getting that perfect 50 points. A 450 rider that I want you to look at, Ben LeMay. Ben LeMay only has, at a 14 handicap, by the way, Ben LeMay would have been in the double points every race at a 14, 57% of the time he would have scored double points. The big thing here is with that 14, he has a huge chance to score a massive amount of points. Every time he has scored double points, he has scored at least 60 or more, and that's the kind of numbers that I'm looking for. LeMay had a bad weekend, double DNFing, so his handicap went up 2, and that's where we want to take advantage of that going into the final 2 races. And your 5th and final rider that I want you to look at is going to be our high handicap hero of the week, and that's going to be Bryce Backus. Now, this might seem like a really weird pick out of left field, and I never, ever advise people to pick 18s. That is something I am very against, but I actually was updating my spreadsheets with a little bit of time this week. And interesting fact for you, in an 18, Bryce would have double pointed 90% of his motos this year. He only has a single moto score outside of the top 28. And even better, 60% of those motos, so 6 out of 10, that would have put him with 30 points or more for the moto. So if you're the kind of guy that really wants to hang it out there, and I right now am the kind of guy that needs to hang it out there because I have some ground to make up if I want to make that top 100 cutoff. Those are the kind of riders that you want. You want guys with a pretty high floor, a guy that's most likely to score double, but also a guy that has a lot of room to score way more than double. We already talked about it before, and I don't have the charts to show you, but FFLs, I still think you should go McElrath. It seems like a lot of people want to get cute and pick Justin Cooper, and I feel you, but the data says pick McElrath. He gets good starts historically. He's gotten good starts this year. He's on the best bike of the class, especially in elevation this weekend. I think the star bikes are going to have a clear advantage over everybody else. If Master Pool races and you want to go Master Pool, I do not blame you. I might also go Master Pool if he races, but if not, Justin Cooper sounds fun. Ferrandis might be interesting, and even Nate Thrasher, but McElrath has the results. Don't pick against results. And as far as the 450 goes, it's AC. There's really nobody else. I think he has 4 of the last 5 of the last 6. He's absolutely just demolishing it. But again, if you want to go contrarian and you want to pick up points where the others might miss out, I think Osborne is your clear-cut number 2 there, just like it's been all season. My way too early team consists of, and this is a Thursday night team, this consists of Alex Martin at a 5 handicap. I have Hunter Lawrence at a 3, Derek Drake at a 5, and Nate Thrasher at a 10. Nate's going to have an astronomical pick trend because he already has a lot of hype coming into this year. He's going to be on that star bike, and he has a humongous handicap. So just know that the entire field is going to live and die by Nate Thrasher. So if you don't want to pick him, I totally understand if you want to go contrarian. I have Derek Drake at a 5. He also has good stats as far as the percentages of him finishing, well above that double points threshold if at a 5 handicap. He's probably the first to come off my team, though, because I don't think he has as high of a ceiling. But then Hunter Lawrence at a 3. I'm really banking on Hunter not having a DNF this weekend. But again, I need to make up the points. 2 rounds to go. I got to pick the high probabilities. On the 450 side, I have Chase Sexton as my all-star for reasons that we said before. Jake Masterpole at a 7. Masterpole is another guy that has high percentages of finishing in double points and an even higher percentage of finishing way above. And one thing I want to point out is that in 2018, 2 years ago, Masterpole was 11th overall. I think he went 11-13, so that's definitely a guy to look at. I have Grant Harlan at an 11. He is on the entry list this week, so it looks like he's going to be back. He's a safer pick here. I don't think he's going to give you massive points like he has in the past because, again, his handicap is lower than it's been. But he's a guy I expect to see in that 13 to 17 range, and an 11 handicap is a lot of value there. And then Ben LeMay, for reasons we talked before, at a 14. I might pull off Grant Harlan for Backus before the gates drop. That's probably the only 450 switch I'm going to make. I'm really comfortable with Sexton, LeMay, and Masterpole. I'm going to plug the Patreon really quick. If you want access to the podcast that I recorded as soon as handicaps were dropped, it goes over every rider and what I think about them. It also has the enhanced cheat sheet, which all the data that I just told you about will be on there. It's going to have tons of data to show you as probabilities of what guys are going to do. You can get that at just $5. Link in the description below. The $5 goes, the majority of the $5 goes directly to me. This is not you buying something. This is you supporting a creator for making content that you enjoy. And I really appreciate everybody that does that. Guys like Cody Granfeld and Ian Craig actually are our two newest Patreons. Also, shout out to DJ Bogart and Austin Tiller for being with us since almost the very beginning. But also look out for the normal cheat sheet to drop on Twitter and Instagram Saturday after the LCQs are done. Thank you for sticking with me this week. Good luck this weekend. I will see you guys on Twitter. I should be fine, no issues here on getting the cheat sheets, being able to watch the race with you guys and chit chat about it. So thank you so much for watching. Be good people. I'll see you on Twitter on Saturday. Take care, guys.